Welcome to our channel. You know me, I'm all about understanding our feline friends, and today we're diving deep into a topic that can be a real curveball for cat owners: fever in cats. Now, just like with us, a fever in your cat is their body's way of saying, hey, something's not right here. We're going to break it down, folks. We'll cover the telltale signs that your cat might be running hot, the sneaky culprits that can cause a fever, and how to help your furry friend get back to their playful selves. We're talking about treatment options, from the vet's office to what you can do right at home. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to our cat's health. So let's equip ourselves with the information we need to be the best cat guardians we can be. Let's get started. All right, let's talk symptoms. How do you know if your cat's got a fever? Well, unlike our sweaty pits and foreheads, cats are masters of disguise. They won't always show obvious signs, but trust me, there are some telltale giveaways. First things first, if you can, take your cat's temperature rectally. I know, not the most glamorous task, but a digital thermometer is your best friend here. A normal temperature for a cat is between 100.5 and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything above that and your alarm bells should be ringing. Now, even without a thermometer, you know your cat's best. You're tuned into their every meow and twitch of the whiskers. So, what are some behavioral changes that scream fever? Lethargy is a big one. If your normally playful and energetic cat is suddenly glued to the couch, barely lifting a whisker, that's a red flag. Loss of appetite is another one. Cats love their food, so if they're turning their nose up at their favorite kibble or tuna treat, something's up. Keep an eye out for vomiting and diarrhea. These can be signs of an upset tummy, which often accompanies a fever. You might also notice your cat's breathing getting faster, almost like they just finished a marathon, even though they haven't left the sofa. And speaking of marathons, has their heart rate gone into overdrive? If you gently place your hand on their chest and feel their heart racing, that's another sign that something's not right. Remember, cats are masters at hiding pain and illness. It's their way of surviving in the wild. So even if you notice just one or two of these symptoms, don't ignore them. It's always better to err on the side of caution and consult with your veterinarian. They can help you determine the underlying cause of the fever and recommend the best course of treatment for your furry friend. Okay, so your cat's running a temperature. The next question is, why? Just like with us humans, fevers in cats aren't a disease in themselves, but a symptom of an underlying issue. And trust me, there's a whole laundry list of potential culprits. Let's start with the usual suspects. Infections, bacteria, viruses, fungi. These microscopic troublemakers can wreak havoc on your cat's system and trigger a fever. Think of it as their body's way of fighting back, raising the temperature to create an inhospitable environment for these invaders. Next up, we've got inflammatory diseases. These are conditions that cause inflammation in the body, and you guessed it, inflammation often goes hand in hand with fever. We're talking about things like pancreatitis, where the pancreas gets inflamed, or inflammatory bowel disease, which affects the digestive system. Now, here's where things get a little more serious. Cancer. Yeah, I said it. Just like in humans, cancer can rear its ugly head in our feline companions, and fever can be an early warning sign. It's not always the case, but it's definitely something to be aware of, especially in older cats. Autoimmune disorders are another possibility. This is where the body's immune system, which is supposed to be the good guy, gets confused and starts attacking its own cells. Talk about a case of mistaken identity. These disorders can manifest in a whole bunch of ways, and yep, fever is often one of them. And last but not least, we've got trauma. Now, this one's a bit more straightforward. If your cat's been in an accident like a fall or a fight with another animal, the physical trauma can trigger a fever as part of the body's natural healing process. So we've identified the enemy, fever. Now it's time to fight back, but hold your horses, Rambo. Treating a fever in cats isn't about throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the problem. It's about working with your veterinarian to develop a targeted approach based on the underlying cause. If an infection is the culprit, antibiotics or antiviral medications might be prescribed. These medications work by either killing the bacteria or preventing the virus from replicating, giving your cat's immune system a fighting chance to kick those invaders to the curb. For inflammatory diseases, anti-inflammatory medications can help reduce swelling and pain, bringing down the fever in the process. Think of it like giving your cat's immune system a little time out to regroup and refocus. In some cases, fluid therapy might be necessary. This involves giving your cat fluids intravenously or subcutaneously to help prevent dehydration, especially if they've been vomiting or having diarrhea. It's like giving their body a big old glass of water to help flush out those toxins and get things moving in the right direction. But here's the thing, medication is only part of the equation. Just like when we're feeling under the weather, rest is crucial for a speedy recovery. Make sure your cat has a comfy and quiet place to curl up and conserve their energy. Think soft blankets, minimal noise, and maybe even a hot water bottle wrapped in a towel for some extra warmth and comfort. And speaking of comfort, let's talk about food. Just like us, cats might not feel like eating much when they're running a fever. But it's important to keep them hydrated and provide them with nutrients to aid in the recovery. If they're not interested in their regular food, try offering them something bland and easy to digest, like boiled chicken or fish. Now, while we always want to follow our vet's guidance, there are some things we can do at home to help our feverish feline friends feel a little more comfortable. Think of it as creating a perfectly soothing environment for them to heal. First and foremost, hydration is key. Just like with us, a fever can dehydrate a cat faster than you can say hairball, so make sure they have access to fresh, clean water at all times. You can encourage them to drink more by placing multiple water bowls around the house, trying a cat water fountain for a little extra enticement, or even adding a splash of low-sodium chicken broth to their water bowl for a flavor boost. Next up, let's talk about food. Now, I know I sound like a broken record here, but tempting a sick cat to eat can be like trying to herd cats. Nearly impossible, but we gotta try, folks. Offer them small, frequent meals instead of one big one. Think of it as grazing for felines, and just like with the water, try warming up their food slightly. The aroma alone might be enough to entice their delicate noses. Now let's create a cozy haven for our under-the-weather buddy. Cats are all about comfort, especially when they're not feeling their best. So make sure they have a soft, warm place to rest and recuperate. Think fluffy blankets, a cozy bed, or even a pile of freshly laundered towels. Just make sure it's in a quiet, low-traffic area where they can truly relax without being disturbed. And here's a little trick I learned along the way: gentle brushing. Not only does it help remove loose fur and keep their coat clean, but it also provides a soothing massage that can work wonders for a feverish feline. Think of it as a mini spa treatment for your furry friend. Okay, cat guardians, here's the deal. While home remedies can provide comfort and support, there are times when a trip to the vet is non-negotiable. We're talking about those red alert situations where every second counts. First off, if your cat's fever is sky high. I'm talking 105 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. That's an immediate trip to the emergency vet. High fevers can be dangerous and even life-threatening, so don't wait, don't hesitate, just go. Next, if your cat's lethargy has gone beyond just being a couch potato and they're completely unresponsive or having trouble breathing, it's time to hit the panic button. These are signs that something serious is going on and you need to get them professional help ASAP. Loss of appetite is another big one. Now, I know some cats can be picky eaters, but if your furry friend hasn't touched their food in over 24 hours, that's a major red flag. Prolonged loss of appetite can lead to serious health problems, so don't delay seeking veterinary attention. And speaking of things that warrant a vet visit, if your cat's vomiting or diarrhea persists for more than 24 hours, or if you notice blood in their vomit or stool, it's time to hightail it to the vet. These could be signs of a serious underlying condition that requires immediate attention. Remember, you know your cat best. If something feels off, if their behavior just screams something's wrong, trust your gut. It's always better to err on the side of caution and have them checked out by a professional. Well, folks, we covered a lot of ground today. Remember, a fever in your cat is their way of signaling that something's off-kilter. By learning to recognize the signs, understanding the potential causes, and knowing when to seek veterinary care, you're taking a proactive approach to your cat's health. Don't underestimate the power of observation. Pay attention to your cat's normal behavior, their routines, their quirks. That's your baseline. Any deviation from that baseline could be a sign that something's amiss. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. Your veterinarian is your partner in crime, your feline health guru. Don't hesitate to reach out to them with any questions or concerns you might have. After all, we're all in this together for the love of our feline companions. Until next time, keep those tails twitching and those